Piratas y Salvajes, the Moro and Moro Piracy, 1565 to 1898. Muslims, Moros, most of them were being feared, but often misunderstood. Terrorists, kidnappers, nuisance, bringer of lawlessness and disorder to society. These are only some of the negative connotations which are associated to them. Evil. They were viewed as the evil in the society. This negative impression stretches on during the Spanish era and still persists up to the present. Therefore, the Moros became the villains in the general flow of Philippine history. Although this negative perspective slowly changes due to the emergence of Moro historians, we cannot deny the fact or the reality that this negative connotation still persists. Well, the goal of this paper is to know the answer to the following questions. Who are the Moros? How did the view towards the Moros evolve throughout time? And what are their motives regarding to piracy? Regarding the first question, who are the Moros? I am going to quote an article from the Philippine Daily Inquirer published last October 2012. It states that the Moros are Filipino Muslims residing in Mindanao. It added that it is consisted of 13 ethno-linguistic groups and can be found in Mindanao, Sulu, and Palawan. Though already scattered in the various parts of the country, their concentration remains in Maguindanao, Lanao del Sur, Basilan, Sulu, and Tawi-Tawi. Now, in order for us to have a general perspective, or in order for us to know the viewpoint of the Spaniards towards the Moros, we should analyze first the dictionaries they use. Okay? So, I am going to present a lexical analysis, although not very in-depth. I'm going to mention some terms related to the Moros and the piracy. The Moro, Mahometano, Pirata or Pirateria, Piratico, all are derivatives of Pirata, Infiel, Salvaje, and Juramentado. Now, for the benefit of all, we have a Spanish delegate here from Red International School. So I'm very sure, sir, you're familiar with the terms here. Okay, so maybe if I'm going to translate it from Spanish, I'm going to translate it in Filipino. Okay, so because sir already knew it. Okay, first one, for the Moro, it refers to a resident of Mauritius. Now, where is Mauritius? It is located in the northern part of Africa, a former province of Roman Empire. It is called Maurus in Latin. So that's according to the 1780 to 1925 version of the Real Academia Española. Okay, so the definition from 1700s to 1900s is still the same. Another definition for a Moro is followers of Mahoma. Mahoma is the Spanish term for Muhammad. Okay, so baka nagtaka kayo, anong pa ni Mahoma? Hindi yung basta Mahoma tinutukoy doon, okay? Mahoma means Muhammad, Prophet Muhammad. So that's according to the 1734 Diccionario de Autoridades. Then for the last part, hindi ko na siya translate into English, mas gusto ko na in Filipino. That's natural de otras regiones donde se sigue la secta de Mahoma, y así se llaman Moros los Maometanos de nuestras provincias de Asia. That's according to the 1884 edition of the Real Academia Española. So ang ibig sabihin po niyan ay an individual who is residing in the regions which still profess the Muslim faith, or referring to the Moros in their provinces in Asia. Of course, when they say province, they're referring only to the Philippines because after all, we're the only colony in Asia, Spanish colony in Asia. Then the next term, Mahometano, again, from the Diccionario de Autoridades, followers of Mahoma. Then next, lo que pertenece a Mahoma y su detestable secta. Well, I'm going to highlight the term detestable. In English, detestable. In Filipino, kasuklam-suklam. Okay, you can see the viewpoint. Ganun talaga mababa ang tingin nila. Masama ang tingin nila sa mga Moros. That's according to the 1780 Real Academia Española. Then the next is Pirata piratería, pirático. El ladrón que anda robando por el mar, which means nagnanakaw sa dagat o sa tabing dagat. El sujeto cruel y despiadado que no se compadece de los trabajos y miserias de otro. Ito daw yung mga tao na walang awa, sisiyahan kapag nakikita yung ibang tao na naghihirap. Okay? Ganun daw yung pagtingin nila sa mga pirata. Then sunod, infiel. Significa asimismo falta de fe o que no confiesa de la fe verdadera. Referring to the people who do not profess the true faith, la fe verdadera. And of course, the true faith that they're referring to is the Catholic faith. So anyone who is not a Catholic during that time, they call infiel. The next, falta de fe o que no confiesa la fe verdadera, the same. Lo que mismo que infiel por el que no tiene la fe católica. Okay, so to make the long story short, ganun. Kapag hindi ka katoliko, infiel ka. The next, the term is salvaje. Silvestre is in cultivo. Wild. Without civilization. Okay? Barbaro. Salvaje. Savages. Okay? El hombre que vive o sea criado en los bosques o selvas entre las piedras y frutos o enteramente desnudo o vestido de algunas pieles de horroroso semblante con barbas y cabellos largos. Ngayon, ilong, di ba? That means, isang uri ng tao na naninirahan sa gubat. Okay? Kasama ang mga hayop, mga animal. Di ba? Los brutos. Then sunod, madalas ay gubat, kung nasusutan man ng damit ay konting parte lang, bahagi ng katawan, de horroroso semblante. Ang wangis ay kahindik-hindik. Pangit daw. Okay? Con barbas y cabellos largos. Makapal ang buhok at makapal din ang balbas. Diba? Ganun yung pagtingin sa mga salvajes. Sunod. Se usa por deprecio o dicterio y vale sumamente necio, terco, tapia o tonto. Ginagamit daw bilang pang-uwian at tumutukoy din sa mga hangal, walang alam. Diba ganyan? Yan yung mga terms nila. So kung may kaaway ka, diba? Hindi nila naitignan ng Castilla, sabi mo, sumamente necio, terco, tapia o tonto. Ganyan mo sila. Next. Hindi nila alam yun. Okay. Dito lang natin nalaman. Sunod naman, el natural de aquellas islas o países que no tienen cultura ni sistema alguno de gobierno. Islanders. Okay, naninirahan sa mga isla na walang sistema na pamamahala, with no system or no form of government. So that's according to the 1817 and 1884 Real Academia Española. Then the next part, of course, nabanggit ni Sir Muhammad kanina, the term juramentado. Well, of course, when we say juramentado, that's affirmation Affirmation. Afirmación o negación que se hace llamando a Dios por testigo de su verdad. Ginagamit mo yung pangalan ng Diyos para manumpa. Okay? O explícitamente nombradole o implícitamente en las criaturas en quien resplandece su bondad, poder y sabiduría. That's according to 1780 version or edition of Real Academia Española. The next one, afirmación o negación de alguna cosa, poniendo por testigo a Dios o en sí mismo en sus criaturas, o pagpapatunay, pagpapatotoo, o pagtanggi sa kahit na ano, sa pamamagitan ng paggamit sa Diyos sa kanyang sarili o sa ibang nilalang bilang saksi. Okay. So, anong koneksyon? Unang-una, magtataka tayo sa definition natin ng Moro, di ba? Kung residente, if you're referring to a resident of Mauritius, which is in Africa, how come that you call the Muslims in the Philippines Moro? Okay? That's a good question, di ba? Now, the reason for that is maybe because when we look back at the Spanish history, they have these so-called Reconquistas. And there is somewhat a resemblance. In Reconquista, they fought the Muslims who were residing in the southern part of Iberian Peninsula. So they were the parts of Sevilla, Granada, Cordoba, which were then occupied by the Moors or the Moros. So they have this bitter conflict with the Moros. When they went to the Philippines, quite a similar situation. Where do we find the Moros? In the south, in Mindanao. The Spaniards in central and northern Philippines. So they see there is somewhat a resemblance, isn't it? Now they call these Moros, and anyone who are Muslims, they call it Moros. Of course, Infiel and Salvajes are somewhat, Mahometanos and Infiels were somewhat connected with each other. Of course, if you're not a Catholic, you will be called Infiel, or in English are infidel. Okay? Then these infidels, because they were viewed very lowly, they were called savages or salvajes. Okay? So they view the Muslims as savages, without any form of government, no civilization. Remember the term silvestre is sin cultura? Okay, they are wild. They belong to the beast. Something like that. Now, apart from analyzing some terms in Spanish dictionaries, why don't we look upon local dictionaries? First one, the Vocabulario de la Lengua Tagala by Fray Ojeda Isalupa. I highlighted two terms, okay, quite interesting, kayaw. Alohetismo que agaw con sus huevos. Related siya sa salitang pang-aagaw. Earlier, Mr. Muhammad told us about pangangayaw, isn't it? Do you remember pangangayaw? So in Tagalog, the nearest term which is related to kayaw is agaw. Okay? So parang pagnanakaw. Okay? You steal, you rob others. Diba? Very pangangayaw. And after that, the term pangayaw, buscar enemigo para matalo. Buscar enemigo para matalo. You kill an enemy. Okay? You kill an enemy. So, if you're going to have a short analysis about this, when we are involved in pangangayaw, you do not only steal, but of course there is a form of killing involved. Okay? So that's pangangayaw. Okay? Then another one, Vocabulario de la Lengua Tagala, not by Jose Sanlupar, but by Fray San Benaventura, sorry for the error. Again, for the term agaw, we have many definitions. Okay? So first one, arrebatar algo. Agawin ang isang bagay. Andar a la rebatina, maglibot upang makipaglaban o manguha. Entremeterse a arrebatar con otros, manloob at manguha kasama ang iba o sumali sa agawan. Nag-aagawan. Librar algo del peligro en que estaba. Sagipin ang isang tao mula sa tangali na kinalalagan niya. Competir o porfiar, makipaglaban o magpumili. Ganan tomando algo por fuerza, magkaroon o manguha sa iba gamit ang lakas o takas. Arremeterse mutuamente o lusubin ang isa't isa at arrebatar defendiendo a otros o agawing bigla o pakipagtanggol. Another from the Vocabulario de la Lengua Tagala by Fray Domingo de los Santos, the term agaw means arrebatar, rapina o robar. Of course, pagnanakaw din, connected. Arrebatador at robador naman ang tawag sa mga agaw at manlulupi. Mga agaw is mga ngayaw, hawig na hawig sila, diba? And that's connected with each other. Another one, apart from the Tagalog, we consulted this, Diccionario Bisaya Español, para las provincias de Samar y Leyte. We had this word arrebatar and robar, and in Bisaya it's kawat. Okay? Kawat, ang Bisaya, diba? Kawat yung na. Diba? What does it mean? Hacer decir algo a hurtadillas. Pumunta ka, nagnakaw ka, nang walang abiso. Biglang sugod. Diba? Sinata tayo. Okay. So dito, isa pang pagpapakulagang binigay is, ir los jugadores a un pueblo o sitio en busca de juego, at irnos cuantos a una parte con algún objeto. O pagtungo ng isang bugador, ang bugador ay isang manlalaro o sabihin natin sugarol, sa isang bayan o sityo upang maghanap ng paligsahan. Okay? Ano kayang ibig sabihin nun? If we analyze, maaari din natin bigyan pagpapahulugan ng salitang ito bilang pagtungo ng isang mandirigma sa isang bayan o sityo upang makipaglaban o sumabak sa labanan. Okay, pwede natin bigyan ito yung definition. Next is the Diccionario Bisaya-Espanyol. Okay, yung agaw, it means arrebatar o manguha o mang-agaw. Kawat, yung tawag sa roba o brutal, yun yung pagnanakaw. At pangawayan bilang pirateria o pamimirata. Okay, so dito na natin siya mapag-uugnay sa salita ng mga Bisaya na ang pirateria o pamimirata ay connecta nila sa pangayawan. Okay? So dito, may parang sinasabi na pareho lang. However, in the following slides, papakita natin ano bang pinagkaiba ng pamimirata at pangangayaw. What's the difference between pamimirata and pangangayaw? Okay? Sa mga Bicolano, in their diccionario ay vocabulary de la lengua Bicol, sabi nila, olgarse o pasar tiempo cucueteando o gugulin ako ang oras sa pagsasaya. Gaming, okay? Again, from a Bicol dictionary by Lisboa, kayo means ayunmetar sale, la locura a alguno por ponerse a burlar por él, o pagtaas ng kalokohan sa pamamagitan ng pagkuha ng isang bagay upang magkaroon ng kasiyahan. Okay? Para sa iba, pag sinabi natin kaya o agawan, okay, may involved na patayan. Pero bakit kayo sa mga Bicolano, it means gaming. Okay? Kasiyahan. Fun. Diba? Then, what's interesting is for this, for the Ilocanos, in the vocabulary Ilocano-Espanyol, mangangayaw means guerrero que en toda ocasión quiere guerra y no piensa sino hacer guerra. Kaya ano itong ibig sabihin? Isang mandirigma na palagi ang nagnanais magkaroon ng laban at tanging pakikipaglaban lamang ang nasa isip. Diba? Sunod na term, cautivar uno en guerra, prisionero y vencido en guerra. Mang-alipin o alipinin ng kanyang nagapi sa labanan. Okay? So dito, guys, or people, when we say pangangayaw, you raid a town. Okay? You raid a place. Okay? Then you make him a slave. Okay? You make him work for you. Okay? So that's for the Ilocanos. So mangangayaw for the Ilocanos is not just headhunting or whatever, thieves. No, that's a noble. Okay? Noble siya, mahalaga na tao. Hindi lang siya basta-basta pumapatay na kung sino makasalubong sa daan. Saksak, hindi. Meron siyang noble cause na ginagawa. Okay. Bakit ko pinapakita ito? Kasi dyan natin malalaman paano nagkaiba yung viewpoint ng Spanish at paano naman yung viewpoint natin mga Pilipino. For the Spanish, they see this pangangayaw as something which is evil, something which involves only stealing. But for us, Filipinos, we have other definition for that. Okay? Would I could mention the presence of Dr. Villan, who told me this term, pangangayaw, when I met him last year. Actually, I have no idea about pangangayaw. Okay, but when he told me about that, I became interested. Okay? Pangangayaw is connected or associated with the term kaginhawaan. Ginhawa. Ano ba yun? Paano natin masasabing maginhawa? According again to Dr. Villan, kapag nakakakain ka, kapag gusto ka yung tiyan. Okay? Let's say for example, ikaw miss, kapag kunwari walang laman ng tiyan mo, makakapag-isip ka ba ng maigi? Sakto lang, ikaw. Magiging balisa, may iba, di ba? Magiging maigi din ang ulo. However, if you're well-fed, naginhawa, you function well. Di ba? Pangangayaw, it's not about just piracy. It's isn't just about killing. Okay? It is about giving ginhawa or giving a pleasure or happiness to your society or to your community. Okay? Because if you do not have any ginhawa, or let's say pleasure or whatsoever, you cannot perform well. Okay? You cannot perform well all your duties. And therefore, you will be in verge of collapse. Diba? Hindi ka makaka-function well. So, ganun yung pinagkakaiba niya. Now, I'm going to show you some views of the Spanish at the Moro in Philippine historiography. Now, first one, they say, and inasmuch as the Maloans, as is well known, are open pirates, whose only ambition is to steal, sorry, wrong siya, and to assault men in order to sell them elsewhere, especially as they go annually to plunder among all Pintados islands, which are under His Majesty's dominion. Okay, so they call these pirates, the Maloans, who were attacking the Pintados on the Visayas Islands. That's in 1560s. Now next, if Christianity would open up communications, all of this large island, or Mindanao, would be administered conveniently. Now, it only serves as a path for the Moros, for their ambushes and raids, which infest the provinces immediate to it. So the Moros were seen as menace, okay? The stabilizers. That's how Father Juan Francisco de San Antonio describes them. The next, our enemies, the Holoan and Mindanaos, have inflicted many damages, which they will continue to do so if they are not checked. Great cost and expense must be incurred in these islands, merely to preserve and defend them. And there are great hindrances and difficulties in the way of their growth. By gaining this port, they're referring to Zamboanga, the door is closed to notable evils and troubles, and benefits of utmost importance, both spiritual and temporal, through which God our Lord and your Majesty will be served. The Christian faith and the extension of the gospel will be assured and increased in these regions. Why I highlighted this is because it seems that there is a duality between good and evil in Philippine historiography. There is a duality between the Christians and the Muslims. Okay? The duality between the Spanish or the Spaniards and the Muslims. Okay? The Spaniards, the Catholics, the Christians on the good side, and the Muslims on the evil side. Why is this so? Isn't it? So that's the very question we had. The Spaniards, their perspective is this. We go to Mindanao to kill all the pirates. We go to Mindanao to free those islands from the Muslim menace. Okay? But apart from the balat kayo of religion, well, of course, there is other reason for their expansion in Mindanao. It was this, to gain land. Mindanao, even up to the present, is called the land of promise, isn't it? And the Spaniards wanted to establish encomiendas in Mindanao. However, they cannot do so because there are the Moros, ready to defend their lands, isn't it? So if they eradicate the Muslims, of course they can have all the lands, fertile lands of Mindanao. However, since the Muslims are aggressive, ready to defend their land, the Spaniards cannot do what they want. Okay? So they just sugarcoat it with the term religion or the propagation of the Christian faith. However, what they really wanted is to gain Mindanao and to use the products coming from the land of Mindanao. Apart from that, of course, they are interested with the lucrative trade of Mindanao. Okay? Prior to making this research, I thought that the Moros are the same. However, I encountered that there are two major sultanates in Mindanao, Maguindanao and Sulu. Okay? And these two sultanates are engaged or involved in vast trade networks with Moluccas, Ternate, and other islands in Southeast Asia. Of course, the Spanish are aware that the Dutch and the Portuguese are having strongholds somewhere there in Southeast Asia. And of course, they wanted to join the race. And in order to be competitive with the Dutch and the Portuguese, they need to conquer Mindanao. Okay, not only Manila, but they need to conquer Mindanao. Okay? So that's the very reason why these Spaniards, they only wanted Mindanao for their land. They are not really concerned, in my point of view, they are not really concerned about the propagation of the Christian faith. Thus, that's just sugarcoating in order to legalize your conquest of that land. Well, of course, that's the perspective of the Spaniards. I'm going to show you what is the perspective of the Moros. For the Moros, the Spaniards are intruders. Okay, let's say you have a land, then someone who is a newbie wanted to gain access to your land. What would be your reaction? Diba? That's trespassing. That's your land. However, someone knocks at your door and wanted to steal your land. In the case of the colonization, the Spaniards had intruders and they wanted to gain access to Mindanao. Of course, the real owners wanted to defend what they had. Okay? So these so-called piracies are not just only piracies. Pamamayaw, let us understand that Pamamayaw is a very Austronesian culture, a very Austronesian tradition. Even before the Spaniards came, there is Pamamayaw. Okay? The Visayas are prepared for the coming of the Moros. And so these Visayas are also engaging in Pamamayaw in other parts of Mindanao. There is also a ballad which says that the people of Catanduanes are afraid of the people of Samar because of the Pamamayaw. Okay? So when the Spaniards came, they said that this piracy is a challenge to the Christian faith. However, without understanding the real reason behind it, that even before they came, they have this Pamamayaw in their mindset. Okay? There is a definite time of the year where they engage in this Pamamayaw. But then the Spaniards know this is an attack to us. Okay? That this is an attack. So, for them, they need to counter the Moro piracy. But for the Moros, during those times, before the coming of the Spaniards, no, it is okay. It is a part of our routine. Every year we do this. But when these intruders wanted to gain access to their land, of course they have to defend it. And the pirateria, or the Pamamayaw, involved nationalism. Okay? They do it in order to defend or cause despair or destruction to the lands occupied by the Spaniards. Eh, sinugod ka na, susugod ka pa, tapang mo. Diba? Parang ganun yung gusto nila. Para matakot nila yung mga Kastila na hindi sila sugurin, susugod din sila. Parang ganun yung nangyayari. That's the very reason why if you see your churches, makakapal ang bato. Those churches serve as forts, fortifications against Moro piracy. Okay? So that's it. So, of course, 5 minutes na lang daw ako. Hindi na ako pwede kumuha na. Okay. So, to make the long story short, ganito na lang, in a nutshell, it is not only piracy, but it is a way in order to defend your ancestral domains, in order to defend what your culture is against the intrusion of the Spanish. Let's make it simple. Kung pamimirata kasi it means only stealing. You kill, then you steal. That's it. But in Pamamayaw, you want to give ginhawa to your community. Diba? You want to defend your ancestral freedoms. Diba? You wanted to make yourself apart from those who wanted to intrude to who you are. Okay? So, that's it. Sorry for the time, and thank you.